If you sit on this side, you need to see the screen. It's probably best sit on this side. As passe bajo, please, benti hai. So we're on week 4, and we're just going to recap what we did last week. So last week we worked through what NLP was, neuro-linguistic programming. So that's used for changing the way we think to achieve goals, but it's also used for counselling. And our worldview that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks. We talked about NLP, how we store our worldview, so it's visual. Some people are more visual, some people sounds and things. Some people do it more about how their emotions are, how they feel about things, smell and taste. And you can have a positive representation and you can have a negative one. So when you have an experience, that experience could be, it could be traumatic. And then even though you're storing something visually or sound, that could cause pain later on. And we distort things, delete things and generalize things. So when we're analyzing our information or our world around us, we look at it in a way that kind of we want to look at it. And we distort it, isn't necessarily the same as what it really is. And that was called, so the modalities are our senses and submodalities, how we kind of interpret it. And then we went through understanding your own worldview. And we did this thing about friends and enemies. Like a friend can be an enemy could really be your friend, depends on how you view them. And then shifting your representation. So we can store things however we want, really. You don't have to. Just because things are in there at the moment the way they are, you can actually adjust them. You can shift the way they're represented internally. And Guruji says the world is true and false. Can we remember why? Why is when Guruji says Kood Raja, Kood Parja, Kood Sab Sansar, then Guruji says Sach, everything's Sach as well. Can you remember why those two things were? Can anyone remember? Why is it false and it can be true as well? Why is it both? So the false representation, the representation of the world that we hold, Guruji calls it false. What my Guru's made, and if it's got the jyot in it, then it's true. Sachi cheez hai. But Guruji says, as we're interpreting it and making it false. So our internal representation of it is false. And what do you think that would, what's a Sikhi term for that then? This ain't working very well, you need to speak. What's a Sikhi term? What Guruji talks about in Bani a lot. So Guruji talks about Naam, and what is that's the other thing Guruji talks about. The negative thing. Begins with M. Maya. So Guru says ek cheez hai Maya. Maya. So we're going to look at that for a few minutes, only for a few minutes. Here's two different shabds here, two different lines. Two lines from each shabd. Maya mamata moni, jin vin danta jag khaya, manmukh khade gurmukh ubre, jini sach naam jitlaya. So that's what one shabd the Guru talks. Guru is saying Maya is a moni, it's enticing. It's enticing, and when we see it, Maharaj says, without teeth, une duniya nu sara kha liya. It's eaten everybody. But there's another shabd there which becomes interesting. It says, Hom mein mamata moni, manmukha nu gai khaye, jo moh duje chit layen de, tina vyap rahi lapataye. Just moh na moh hai na. Jo moh duje chit layen de. The ones who become attached to something else, they're home. So when we talked about that representation, that's how home are doing it. That's me inside. So I'm representing everything in the way I want to see it. And that's been influenced by lots of things. It might be my upbringing and different things. So what we're going to talk about. So the things to remember is when we look at the world, we make it into a falsity. Can anyone give any examples of how we've made the world false? How have we done that internally? How have we made it false? Have we got any examples of what we've made false? Because that's what Guruji tells us over and over. Guruji says you're wrong. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਕੂੜ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਸ ਗਿਆ ਤੂੰ. You've gone wrong. Why is Guruji saying? What we false ਕੀ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ? What have we made false?
Giving too much importance to worldly things.
Yeah. And examples of them? Working, yeah. See, working no false banata. Anything more closer to home than that? Family? Family no si false banata ya. Anything else more closer than that? So our perception, ego, kalo. But what about something physical that's more closer than our family? Body nu kar liya na. So Guru saying body false kar diti asi, because we think we're going to live forever. Guru saying eda mar jani hai, it's going to die after some time. It's going to age. So Guru saying our home is the thing that's inside, the thing is outside, and that relationship we make from me to that thing, maya maraj gandeya, that's maya, it's false. So the reason why I covered that representation is when we put it back into pain, sometimes our understanding of the world is what's causing our pain. But just a shift in the way we understand the dunya sometimes can reduce the pain. And some of those things we're going to discuss today, but we're going to shift over to talking now. So the neuro-linguistic programming part, that's the mind bit, linguistic is our speaking. So as we use words, we use these words. I want you to just pair up, or 2-3 people, it's okay. I want you to just say, I can't or I can. I was just using an example. You don't have to use Sikhi in the example. It could be something else. I want you to say to the person next to you something that you can do and something that you can't do. So just pair up or something and get socializing. So hopefully you've done that by now, right? I'm guessing you know what you can and can't do, 1 or 2 examples, was everyone happy with what they said? What you can do and what you can't do? Anyone give any examples of what you can do? What can you do? What can you do?
I was just saying that we can control, like looking after our family, that's in our control.
You can control.
Really powerful one here.
Can't cook. Anyone else? And what you can't do? What can't you do? Anyone got an example? What you can't do? Can't find time. Anything else?
One of the dangers of operative,
can't commit to the next level of attaching to Waheguru, did you say? Yeah, connecting to Waheguru, can't commit to the next level. That's good. Okay, what else? I'm not saying that's good, sorry. I mean, that's good. I'm saying that's a good example. What, anything else? Right. So, what I want you to discuss temporarily, this is going to be a good, nice talking session for a bit today. I want you to, when you said I, what did you mean? What were the feelings that you thought about yourself? And when you said can't or can, why did you say it like the way you said it? Why did you say can't or can? And when you said I, मैं कर सकता नहीं कर सकता, what does that mean? Have a quick couple of minutes and discuss that when you said I. Paji ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਜਾਓ ਪਮਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ sing. Paji, he can come with you. That's sing. Huh? Everybody good? पता लग गया आई उई की हुंदा can't can की हुंदा what did you when you said I what did you mean when you said I can or I can't what did you kind of ਕਿਹੜੇ ਫੁਰਨੇ ਆਏ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ what was
same person, but when you look at it individually, you can't do something, you're seeing yourself in a different perception to when you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still the same person.
Good, yeah, good. There's differentiation between your can and your can't. But did I, what I was talking, what is that, I?
We think it's I, but it's not actually I. So it's Waheguru, isn't it? Giving you the ability to get up in the morning, like Paige said. But I can't, it's an excuse.
Mm.
There's such thing really as I can't.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyone get anything different?
It's when your children say that I can't do this homework, and you're like, yes, you can. Put your mindset, change your mindset, let's look at it in a different angle.
Yeah.
Put your work in it, put the means in it, and then you get the rewards at the end. So that's that perception. But as adults, we don't do that. We don't self-talk that. We just say you can't do it.
No, that's brilliant. That's on the right lines, isn't it? That's the direction we're going in. So I'm in front of you now, and I'm saying to you, I can't cope with life anymore. No? I can't cope with what's going on. What would you say to me?
Give you assurance, give you positive words of encouragement.
What's I become now? If I say I can't cope. If I say I can't cope, then I say I can't. See those words? The words mean a lot. Words mean a lot. And for us, as he said, And as Gursikhs, Guruji's given us words. Gurbani words are. Obviously, they're more than that, But if you look at it from a context of what it is, it's words. Maharaj ne words ditte sanu. Now, our words are important. So when we say I, when you look at it from this, all of these things could be in your eye, I is a messy thing. It could be your ability, disability, your achieved status, your aptitude, aspiration, birth order, awards and recognitions. London here, OBE. I'm OBE. Sikh London, British Empire. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੋਪਾਂ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਉਡਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੇ put that on their names, But that's their ID, that's their I, Beliefs, their birth order, their citizenship. I'm British, I'm English, I'm Indian, I. I'm a Gora, I'm this, I'm whatever. Health status, hobbies, dreams, blah. Oh, messy ho janda hai. What do you think Guru's got to say about this? What do you think Guruji ki keh rahe sanu? What do you think Guruji says? When you said I, have a think. What were you saying? Who is it? What were you talking? Who was saying I can do whatever? Who was that? Okay, sigi cheez. Was it? Were you associating it with your name? It doesn't matter. I'm not asking you to be some crazy introspective person in 1 second. But think about it, Think about it. From today onwards, you change karna. Because did you know in Sikhi, you can make your I into tu. Do you know that? In Bani vich. I can make my I into tu. Now, jithe Gurbani keh rahi hai, for instance, ja tu ta main maan kiya hai. Hun meri main tu ban gayi hai. If you're there, then I've got some mera maan hai. Tudh bin kiha mera mano. Tere Maharaj thwade to bagair mera maan kiya. Now, whenever I say main now, hun oh tu ban gaya. And a person can say tu to Waheguru and make Waheguru main. Do you know how? Waheguru's on my side. Waheguru's not on your side. Hun main Waheguru nu main bana liya. See, I've messed it up. My internal representation has gone kharab now, Sikhi wise. But Maharaj is beyond. So it was when we were doing that exercise last week or week before, when we said, Acharj teri kudrat, tere kadam salah, ganiv teri sift sache paatshah. We said, Maharaj teri kudrat acharja. Now when we first said it, it should have been different from when we second time we said it. Because second time we said, well, there's trillions and trillions of these galaxies and also. So Maharaji, nature, unada kudrat, what is it? Oh, charja is beyond me. So now my word has changed. The way I say that Gurbani lafz is changed. The way you say I changes. It'll change today if you want it to change. It won't be like that. So when you look at all these different things that makes up your identity, Guru's got different message for us, And this was a sentence that I used earlier. I can't live a Sikhi life yet. That's common, I don't know why that's gone orange. That's common. I hear a lot that it's too hard. Like we were talking about, the next step is too hard. When we talked earlier, and it's this now. When you say I is your identity. That's your image, core values, how you talk to yourself. That's I. What your core values are, who you think you are. Then can't is your belief system. This is part of NLP, I really blew my brain a little bit in terms of how we messed up and not you really used proper thinking and how we're doing our life basically. That's my belief system, or can I can't do. And what's driving your belief system? I think you touched on it there about when a child says, I can't do this homework, it's too hard. Just on that topic, who's got children, you're good. I don't know if you know that. You never tell your nyana that you're the best. You always tell your kid, your effort was really good. ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਕਹੀਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਬ੍ਰਿਲੀਅੰਟ ਆ ਤੇਰੇ ਵਰਗੇ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਕੋਈ you know we do it in Sikhi a lot don't we ਤੇਰੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਕੀਰਤਨੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕੋਈ ਤੇਰੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਸੇਵਾਦਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕੋਈ ਤੇਰੇ ਵਰਗਾ we know what you're doing you're destroying those individuals when they did a test on the nyane who they gave some kids and said you are the best the other kids said your effort's amazing then they gave them a harder test they gave them harder work to do mathematics and the kids who they told were the best they just gave up they said I don't think anyone could do this my age whereas the kids who they said your effort's great worked out these really creative ways of getting through stuff so often our belief system can and can't. It's been conditioned like that. It might be that your parents have spoilt you. It might be that you're really good in your circle at what you do, and you just look really great. You look really great in that circle, but if I take you out of that circle, put you over here, you don't look that great, So your belief system of can and can't comes from conditioning, experiences, emotional. I say live a. That's a capability. That's what do I believe I'm capable of doing? If I say I can't do a certain thing in Sikhi, let's say I say I can't wake up early. My capability system, that's come from skills, abilities, knowledge and support. That's what I believe I'm capable of. But the belief system's always linked in. So it gets, I know sometimes it's not that easy to understand it fully, but if you just understand some of these sections, Sikhi life is a behaviour. So look what's in these words now. So when someone says to you, I can't cope with life anymore, that's a very high level thing. So what state is that person in? Can't. What's their belief system? Why are they believing that they can't cope now with life? Life is a behavior. Why can't they cope? Life is an environment. Yet, like that yet on the end, it's my current point in time. What's happening right now. So you can break these words down anyway. This is a lot of this, again, the NLP stuff we talk about, a lot of it's therapy based, it's for helping you. It's helped me a lot. When people speak to me and they've got, let's say they're a bit down, it helps me a lot because I can listen to what they're saying and so wait, that's a bit broad what they're saying there. It's not clear what they're saying. And there was more of these things. So, I want you to just pick on a couple of these, whoever's next to you, just pick on a couple, because when you use these kind of words, when I say I do or I don't, that's my behaviour. So if I say to you, I don't smoke, and I don't smoke by the way, but I don't smoke, that's a behaviour. Say I do go to the Gurdwara every Sunday, that's my behaviour. So when you use a word like I and do, and you say I want, that's a need thing. What do you want? If I asked you today, what do you want? Sometimes people don't know what they want. It's like I was talking last week when I asked about when you wake up in the morning, what do you wake up for? They're like saying, I don't know. Like, you should know what you want, huh? What do you want? Why are we living? And, environment right now, if someone says to you, right now, they're talking about their environment now, right, where they are. It might be where they're living, how they're living, in their current job. It might be their age. It could be anything. So I want you to just pick a couple of these and then look at the system behind it. And then when you talk in the next few days, have a think about how you're using your words, because your words are really important, and we'll go over that in a minute. So have a think about these. When you say, just to keep, let's say, pick a couple of boxes each and just say something, make up a sentence with those and then think about it. Like the intention thing, that's interesting. All of these aren't systems at NLP, some of them are added on. So like identity system is talked about, belief systems talked about, behavior system, capability and environment is, but the others are a couple of extras. Because in Gurbani, why those things don't cover certain things. In Gurbani, we've got a system about sort of hopes and desires. And that makes up a person, what you are. What's your desire? What do you want? When I say, ki lana tusi life to, Guru asks us as well, what do you want? And Gurbani says loads of things. Menu, I want darshan. I want to be close to Waheguru. That's a need. That's a need. Now that need isn't there in our worldly representation internally. Our worldly representation is paisa chaida, 7 promotions chaida. I need a 9-bedroom house. Those are needs that we've put inside. Also, asaman saban gaya. And even that book, when we talk about why am I here, the book is based on a shabd that just says you're asleep between 2 things. The attachment of the things that you've got to the things that you got, and the desire for the things that you haven't. Guruji says that's your need, that's what we're sleeping. But most of those things are related to our belief system, our identity, how we behave. So pick a couple. Remember, the time runs out so quick when I'm doing this. You just run sweet to the time. So quick, just pick a couple and have a go. Have a go at a couple of different ones and just see how those words you use in them. Have another think about I as well. Have another think about it. Then the next I'll show you what Gurbani kind of starts affecting these things. How Guru's concepts affect these things. So just pick a couple. If you could do them quickly, do a few more, Hannah. Has everyone learnt something? Why, young people, I suggest before you get married, the person you're about to get married to, you should make them fill this out. You'll find out everything about them. So I try to make it in a way to say, your current snapshot of who you are, what's your worldview? I personally think these questions answer most of it. And you'll get a pretty good idea about what the person is, if they tell the truth, that is. If they tell the truth, But did you guys learn anything? Are you thinking a bit differently about how you're speaking and how you're using these words? And when we say, we come to Guruji, when we talked last week, we make Guruji into this small, Waheguru into this small little thing, that he's our little genie, Guruji is our little genie that we just rub the bottle with the ardas. The genie comes out and say, Genie, today can I have you sort my work out, please? I'm feeling a bit down at work. Can you sort it out? Thank you, Genie. Bye-bye. I don't need you anymore. Let's go and eat my dinner. Let's walk around, have a chat, go sleep, do all my things. Just call the Genie again. There's a bit of a problem today. Just call the Genie, ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਾਮ ਪਰੇ ਜੋ ਸਿਮਰੀਐ ਐਸੋ ਸਿਮਰੋ ਨੀਤ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਜਦੋਂ ਕਾਮ ਪਰੇ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਆ when you got a desire for something and you need something, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਿਮਰਦੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਸਿਮਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ। how we remember ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ then, he said remember him like that daily, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਨਿਤ ਕਰੋ ਇੱਦਾਂ। don't just do it when because you need him, you're a user. have you ever had a friend who's a user? I've had friends who are users quite a lot, है ना। and they just use you. There's like they got a bit of spare time, so they'll come down your house and they're just wasting your time. They're not really. And you know, even in Gurbani, what Guru's saying, "Bhai, eh jag meet na dekhiyo koi." Main is duniya te I haven't met anyone who's a friend. That's a bit of a bold statement, है ना। सगल जगत अपने सुख लागियो दुख में संग ना होई। सारी दुनिया अपने सुख विच लगी हो आ। They want their own happiness and they're using you as a friend, but दुख में संग ना होई। जदों दुख थानू आंदा, then they will run. You say, I thought they were my friends, है ना। Dara, look what Guru's saying is Dara, Meet, Poot, Sanbandhi. And this sort of partner, Mittar, Puttar, Sanbandhi, your associates. Sagre tan se ho lage. O sare thode tan na lage ho. In other words, they get something from you. All of them get something from you. They're users, है ना। जब ही निर्तन देखियो नर को संग छाड़ सब भाग है। When that thing ain't there anymore, they run away. सारे नट जाते हैं। But Guruji goes on in that shabd, says how जिदा मन is like a ਉਹ ਪੂਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ of a dog, ਸਿੱਧੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੀ। Because my mind's like that, it still goes back to that thing. It still goes back to that thing. ਸਵਾਨ ਪੁੱਛਦੋ ਪਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸੂਦੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਤਨ ਮੈਂ ਕੀਨੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਲਾਜ ਬਿਰਦ ਕੀ ਰੱਖੋ ਨਾਮ ਤੁਮਾਰਾ ਲੀਨੋ। Guru says ਮੈਂ ਨਾਮ ਹੁਣ ਜਪਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਿਆ। Now Guru's saying I've understood who I am, I've understood my worldview, and I've understood what's important to me. Now all these things would all change now. If a person believed what Guruji just said, everything would change. Do you know how quick something changes? Do you know how quick something changes? Your belief changes. Look how quick it can change. It could change with one specific thing that just happens in your life. The whole thing changes. I've seen people cut their gears who are sick because the whole thing's changed. I've seen when someone's left them in their marriage, sari sikhi down the pan. So then what is it that's holding it together? That's now you have to get to the genuine part. How do we become genuine? How is my worldview genuine? Because it's false. If it breaks quickly, it's false. Does that make sense? Koई offended then ho gaya by what I said, and beat me up when I walk outside or something. But if you look at this, look at all these things, identity system, someone who's grateful for who they are, but I'm not sure who I am. That's a person who's got pain. Person who's happy, their identity, I'm really happy about who I am, what Waheguru gave me, what I am, who I am. A person who's in Dukh, they'll say, I don't even know who I am. So their bearings are all gone. A person's belief system, that's the conditioning and experiences. I can handle life. A person who's confident and has good belief. Remember, my belief here, I'll show you in a minute. If person says, I can handle life, no you can't. Calm down. I can handle life, but a person who's dukhi, they will say, I can't do anything right. Do you see how the belief system's changed? Identity system changed, the belief system's changed. Then we say behavior system. I do things that bring joy. I bring things that make me. I do things that make me happy. That would be someone who's trying to be healthy, say emotionally healthy or spiritually healthy. I do things that make me happy. Whereas a person whose behavior system's changed, and remember, this is not their fault. I'm not pointing fingers saying one person's weak, one person's strong. Really, we're all weak. If you understand the Gurbani, we're all weak. Hum dolat beri paap pari hai. Pavan laga kat jao. Guruji says, you put a boat in the ocean. He says, when the hawa, he goes, I don't know which direction the wind's going to go, but my boat's going to go wherever your wind sends it. That's the reality of life. And so another person, I don't exercise anymore. Their behavior's changed because they're saying it's too much now. I don't do anything for myself anymore. So self-care's gone. You look at needs. I want things to feel easier. That's someone who's in pain. So I switched them a bit, because the want doesn't necessarily always mean it's a positive thing. I want things to feel easier. Someone's life's not going well. Their needs are now changed. They said, I just want things to be easier. It's too hard. Someone who's feeling happy, they say, I don't need much to feel good now. Everything's great. I don't need that much in life. And you go down here, emotional, I feel overwhelmed and tired, I fear nothing. So someone who's happy will say, oh, jere darda nahi Rab to as well. That's a bit dodgy as well. Hai? You know, Farid ji says, ek na nu sab soji ai, ek firde beparwa. He goes, oh, beparwa je firde a. He goes, ona nu ta saja lagani a. They walk in and say, Rab kithe a. Life is great, you know. So sometimes fearing nothing is not necessarily a good thing. I love people but can't get close to them. That's the dukhi person. They're saying, I love my family, but I just find it very hard to get close to them now. So now the emotional system's gone off. You know? Capability, skills, abilities. I can do my job well. I can't do all these things at once in life now. The things that are all coming at me now, it's too much. Can't deal with it. So you see how these systems, they all go, your intentions, your environment, Sara, it can go kharab, it goes off. And so when we look at Gurbani, what our Guru's given us is some of these things. When we've got identity, really, you know what your identity really is? It jot hai, Vaheguru di jot hai, your identity. Hor koi nahi hegi. You're not an Indian. You're not a man or a woman. Theek hai, you are in a context, you are. I'm not saying you're not, that's not what you are, huh? You're a jot. And I want you to say, I can do something as a jot. Now how does it feel? I want you to say, I can do something as a guest. Guru says, we're guests here. Do we act like guests in the world? Guruji says, guest hai. Now a identity hai. It's a temporary one, but it's a permanent one. So the temporary one on the dunya is my body, but my real identity doesn't die. You know? So now I is changed. I is now different. My belief system, Guru says, hukum bhiya, karam bhiya, ardas bhiya. Now my belief system's changed. So now I know why Guru does everything. Now my belief system's changed. Sometimes acceptance of a certain thing reduces your pain. It's the non-acceptance of it that's causing it. Hukum manana, Guruji calls that. Karma bhiya, jo main kiya, so main paya, dosh na dije, avarjana. That's a belief. It says, whatever I've done previously, it's just playing out now. That's my karma. Mera karma. That's my belief system. And I've got an ardas. The beautiful thing that we've got is to go ardas. Yeah. We've got a belief. So if someone says to you, you can't do something, and you had a belief, and it's happened to me loads of times where people just written you off. So that ain't happening. You just be quiet. In those situations, you just be quiet. Hai na? But to see ardas karni hai. And when you do ardas, your belief, that's your belief system. Guru's given us tools. Hai na? It's how the tools are. And if you look at behavior, we've got virtues and Simran. We don't actually try to use our virtues. We try to use the things that we can do to get an edge on people. We use the wrong things. We don't use our virtues. So our behavior, when it changes to what Guru wants us to do, Guru says, Asi suhagana tu. That's for men and women. Asi suhagana. We suhagana, what we are. We're like the soul brides. You know? And using those virtues and Simran, that's our behavior. Our behavior is about Se sanjog karo mere pyare, jit rasana har naam uchare. I'm trying to make my own relationship bana raha in my behavior where I can do some Simran. And remember, why Guruji, that tusi aj sanjog banaya tusi. You've come to Gurdwara. Tusi ek sanjog bana liya aj. To say aj asi Vaheguru de gun sunne a. We're going to change ourselves. So tusi saying your behavior is changed based on Simran. Hai na? Your needs. Sanu Guru de bachan di lod a, you know that. Avar upao na koi sujai nanak tariye gur bachani. Hor koi method nahi hai. You know, a couple of weeks ago we talked about method. Method hor koi nahi hega. The method is Guru's bachan. That's the only thing that can save you. You're not going to find it in Coventry Evening Telegraph. You're not going to find it in, you know, the college or something. Oh, Maharaj de bachana ne bacha lena sanu. That's what our needs are. And emotional system, fear, love, everybody, I don't know if you know, the baseline of our love is our fear. You only love because you fear something. So people don't understand that. They think, love's not fear. If you love your child, what you're really loving is you're fearing that something bad doesn't happen to them. If you love your relationship with your partner, what you're fearing is that the relationship doesn't break. So it's all grounded in fear. Pੈ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਮਨ ਭਾਉ ਤਿਨਾ ਮਨ ਭਾਉ ਗੁਰੂ ਸੇ ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਭਾਉ ਉਪਜੈ ਭਾਈ ਭਾਉ ਕਰਨੀ ਸੱਚ ਸਾਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡਰ ਆ first you read the Shabad then dar comes first. Don't get that bit mixed up. ਸ਼ਬਦ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ first ਸ਼ਬਦ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਡਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਆ when dar is there ਉਹ ਡਰ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਭਾਉ ਉਪਜੈ ਭਾਈ ਭਾਉ ਕਰਨੀ ਸੱਚ ਸਾਰ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਪਦਾਰਥ ਪਾਈਏ ਭਾਈ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਮ ਆਧਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਨਾਮ ਸੱਚਾ ਨਾਮ it has to be on the foundation of fear first and that fear isn't us hiding under tables the fear isn't oh my gosh what's going to happen the fear is saying I'm nothing now I ਡਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਆ when your I is now changed your identity's changed so your emotional system capabilities, Guru Angsanga. Now your capabilities unlimited. Your capabilities unlimited. Guru ji said, "Je tu mera hoye rahe, sab jag tera hoye." Je tu mera ban gaya, fir main to sara jagat de dena aaya. Now you're unlimited. What can't you do? And intention. What's your intention? What is our intention? Is our intention to be a rich person? Sada intention kiya. What do we want? Asa mansa keri cheez rakhiyo a. It's really important to think about. And then environment, है ना? Sim sharan te rakhya sadi rakhya Maharaj kare. Jiri environment isi banaya घरां च भी बनाया. What have we made our environment into? Maya ਧਾਰੀਆਂ ਦਾ environment. मैं किस दे घर ਨੂੰ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ and he showed me around the house, है ना? And we went somewhere, and he had a bar in his house, है ना? मैं कहा बंदा finished ही या फिर तकरीबन finished ही या बंदा. His environment is the bar. Already साਡਾ environment बनना चाहिए. You should have a place in your house where you do Simran, you know that, ना? In your house, you should have a place that's dedicated for your part. It should be dedicated for your Simran. That's what your house should have. ਜਦੋਂ ਘਰ ਲੈਣਾ ਵੀ ਆ extra bedroom ਲਈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ. You don't count your bedrooms, say, yeah, well, I'll have that one, and then my partner will have that one, and then kids will have that one, and then, we only need a 3-bedroom house. No, you don't. Guruji is in one of your rooms, है ना? You don't need a 3-bedroom house, you need a 4-bedroom house, है ना? ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ. ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸਭ ਕੁਛ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਰਾਮ ਪਰਾਇਆ. ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਛ ਮੇਰਾ ਹੈ ਰਾਮ ਪਰਾਇਆ ਆ. You said the genie thing. Let's call the genie when we need the genie, you know? No, you don't. You do your bhakti every day. Nit kari di hundi a. So your environment, make your environment into that. So, anyway. This Chromecast is terrible. Okay. Look what Guruji says to us, you know? Bekhin mein kaude hoye gaye. ਜਿਤੜੇ ਮਾਇਆ ਭੋਗ 12 ਮਾਹ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਕਿੰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੀਆਂ ਸੋਹਣੀਆਂ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਸਕਿੰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਦੇਣੀਆਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਕੌੜਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਸਾਰਾ. ਐਂਡ ਔਨ ਦ ਆਪੋਜ਼ਿਟ ਸਾਈਡ ਆਗੇ ਸੁਖ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤਾ ਪਾਛੇ ਆਨੰਦ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਕੀਤਾ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੁੱਖ ਦਿੱਤਾ. ਆਮ ਹੈਪੀ ਨਾਓ, ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਿਛਲਾ ਵੀ ਹੋਇਆ when I look back at it ਉਹ ਵੀ ਆਨੰਦ ਹੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ really ਮੈਨੂੰ. Look at what feeling would that be? Where he's saying really in the future I've got happiness, in the past I've got anand, है ना? Anand ही ਸੀ. I want you to just think about 1 second with the partners who you're with. Tell me one thing, if Waheguru took it today, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੌੜਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ. Just have a think about that for a second. You could do a worldly thing and then you could do a spiritual thing. I want you to think about that. In 1 second, if Maharaj took it today, what would go Kauda straight away? What would make everything, all that system, crap? Just have a think. So anyone want to say what it is for them? Remember, nobody answers wrong, by the way. There ain't a wrong answer. If Maharaj took something, what would it be?
Benji said that what would really upset her is the ability to hear, to see, to speak, not to be able to listen to part, to you know, to do part as well, and to listen to people. That was the physical elements that Benji said that
Okay.
she really.
That's good. Anything else? Did anyone say their PlayStation? Anything else? Have you ever thought about that before? Because what it makes you understand is your life is, if I get too caught up in my worldview, it's fragile what I'm making. Fragile bana rahe hain ਅਸੀਂ. And if it's something that's so, for instance, health. We talked about health there. Someone's might be their wealth. Someone's might be their partner. Someone's might be their child. Someone else might be Naam, hai na? Waheguru. So Gurbani, all the way through, it says, Nanak jit vela visray mera swami, tit vele mar jaye jiyo mera. Guruji says, jadon jis vela. Now a vela is only a couple of hours, 3 hours, hai na? Ek vela hai, like say Amrit vela, or 3 ਘੰਟੇ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ before sunrise, that's our Amrit vela. Guru says, Jit vele, Nanak jit vela, visray mera swami. Then the Shabds, they go more. Guru starts saying, Jiri kadi, ek kadi na milte ta kal jug hota. A kadi is only 24 minutes now. So now we've gone from 3 hours. Guru says, Jiri kadi vich nahi milda mainu, there's 60 kadiyan. Din raat de vich there's 60 kadiyan, so that makes 24 minutes. Hai na? So now Guru is saying, Ji, o kadi de vich Rab nahi milya. Then now mere kal jo gaya ho. Then Guruji starts talking about shin, kin. This is a shin, hai na? Ma blink. And visar jave. And even Kabir ji is talking about, he used to sew, hai na? He says, when I start getting the thread, taga, he goes, taga u paunda hai in there. He goes, Waheguru visar janda, Ram. That was pain for him, to put the taga in like that. He goes, just that little time, then he messes him up, hai na? Just putting the taga in. But dekho bas preet, hai na? So imagine the system. One of the system kiya. He's saying he skinned le Maharaj visar janda, I can't handle it. So he made his pain all spiritual. Well, we made our pain very physical. It was very Maya, jira sada representation. Now we've said, if that breaks, then I'm Rabbanu nahi manna fe on that day, afterwards. So Guruji gives us Sukh, and he gives us, Guru says, ek skint de vich skin mein kaude ho gaye hai na, chin mein. Jire Maya po gaya. Wo bahut kache hai na. So final thing. When you look at this, these are the systems now. I am, I can't, I do, I don't, I want, I will, I won't, I can do right now, etc. Just think about these very quickly, because we've only got a few minutes. What do they look like for you when you go and do your job, when you're sitting with your family, or when you're doing Part, Simran, or Kirtan? Are they the same? Are they different? Just have a quick think about that, and then we can finish off. Huh? When a person goes to work, sometimes become proper Maya Tahri, Changi tarah. And when we're sitting in our family, it's just like kushi, everything, So, is it all the same? Sarat, is it all the same, or was it different? Does your identity change when you're doing different things? Do you become a monster at work? The most difficult manager in the whole world. Does anything change? When we do a Simran, does everything switch off? Does it get connected, Hanji?
We were talking about, earlier you talking about needs. And like with work, we say, oh, I've got to get to work on time, I've got to, but with Sikh, you're like, oh, well, that was the time, if it's got this, oh, well, with work, we don't do that. So it's like we put work as a high priority.
Yeah, who got here at 1:45 today? Who got here at 1:45 today? Yeah. There's only, you know what I mean? Because here, it doesn't matter, does it? It's just a bit of Sikhi. It's probably going to start, we'll watch it on YouTube or something. But ਕੰਮ ਲਈ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹੋਗੇ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ is here ਹੈ ਨਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ not at your work, it's not at your house ਹੈ ਨਾ you get paid ਹੈ ਨਾ because it's tangible, but here this you're getting paid now ਹੈ ਨਾ. That's what Bhai Gurdas is saying. You can't see it, but you're getting paid now. You're getting paid way more than you get paid at work, by the way, है ना. पर आ चीज़ है ना, वो कौडी यही लगती है सानू. We treat it like कौडी is little shell. But जरी दुनियावी चीज़ है, we think so. This is a belief system. What I'm saying to you, I read this book once. It says someone comes late for for a meeting. They're late for everything. So they're late by about 5 minutes. They're probably late for work. They're probably late for appointments. They're late when the family calls them. They're late for everything. So that's a belief. It's a system that's in your brain. And what I want you to do is try and rewire it. Because even at work, I used to say, I said it before, I went to work. I used to simran on those bodies. I went to that job for 17 years, And after a bit, I didn't think about Simran. You should just go on the stairs. And your brain just does Simran there. I used to sit in the car and do extra part. I was saying in KSC once, man, he goes, before I start work, I do my Japji Sahib, I said, I never thought about that, I should just think, Japji Sahib, oh, that's very hunda part, But I was saying, job karan to pehla main Japji Sahib padhda hunna hor, So I started doing Bani like that. Go out at lunchtime, Bani pad li. Come back from lunchtime, Bani pad li. Swere chale gaye, Bani pad li. Come back and go back to home from work, Bani pad li. That's how you do it, That's how you. And now, if you regard me, if I compare myself, jire Singh se gaya like kache pille maina compared to some jire Singh karde jida karde. But you should make all your life like that. You should make your life like that. Gaddi ch beh gaya, you should do part. You got to pick someone up. Utte kuch kar lo, Simran kar lo. You utilize your time, and work helps a lot. Jada thoda timing hunda. But that's a belief. If you think mere fayda hoga na, that's why you do it. If you think fayda nahi hega, you're not going to do it. So that's why you got to change. It's your belief system, your behavior. Behavior. ਜਦੋਂ I used to be at work, they used to have a meeting. ਉਹ ਗਾਲ ਕੱਢ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ. They used to swear in the meeting, and they used to apologize to me. They used to swear between themselves. They should apologize to me, because their behavior. There's a certain expectation that they thought I had. I didn't care. Gala kaddi jo mainu ki hai. But they used to apologize to me. They say, sorry, I just used a bad word, But it's what's your aura? Who are you, When you're sitting there, what do you demand from life? Because you could demand what you want from the world, from your family, from your friends, from those around you, And I don't mean demanding through your voice. It's demanding through just who you are. So when we use ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਖਰ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਨੰਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਬਿਨਾ ਹੋਰ ਕੱਚੀ ਹੈ ਬਾਣੀ ਨਾ ਉਹ that ਪੰਕਤੀ is always often used ਜਦੋਂ ਆਰਗੂਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਵੀ ਦੂਜੇ ਰਿਲੀਜਨ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੱਚੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਕੱਚੀ ਆ that's not what that ਸ਼ਬਦ saying. That's true though. ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਹੈ by the way, ਦੂਜੀ isn't. But ਜਿਹੜਾ Guru saying, Satguru bina hor kachi hai bani. Teri bani kachi ya, Guru kende. because he says ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ, ਬਾਣੀ ਤਾਂ ਕੱਚੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਬਾਝੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਕੱਚੀ ਬਾਣੀ, ਜੋ ਤੂੰ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਨਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਤੇਰੇ ਬਚਨਾਂ 'ਚ। this thing ain't fixed to ਸਿੱਖੀ, ਜੋ ਬਚਨ ਆ ਖਰਾਬ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੱਚੇ, ਸੁਣਦੇ ਕੱਚੇ, ਕੱਚੀ ਆਖ ਵਿਖਾਣੀ। ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਬਹਿਣਾ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਵੀ ਕੱਚਾ ਆ, ਬੋਲਣਾ ਵੀ ਕੱਚਾ ਆ। Now look what happens. Guru Ji says ਹਰ ਹਰ ਨਿਤ ਕਰੇ ਰਸਨਾ। ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਿਤ ਉਹ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਨਿਤ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਨਿਤ ਕਰੇ ਰਸਨਾ, ਕਹਿਆ ਕਛੂ ਨਾ ਜਾਣੀ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਆ ਉਹ ਆਪ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ, ਕੁਛ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। what they're saying, ਚਿੱਤ ਜਿਨ ਕਾ ਹਿਰਲਿਆ ਮਾਇਆ, ਬੋਲਣ ਪੈ ਰਵਾਣੀ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਿੱਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਿੱਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਇਆ ਆ। So Guru saying the representation we made internally, it even affects your simran, affects your mantra, ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰ ਮੰਤਰ ਜੋ ਜਪਦੇ ਹਾਂ, affects it, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਕਹੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਬਾਝੋ ਹੋਰ ਕੱਚੀ ਬਾਣੀ। ਸੋ ਜੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਕੱਚੀ ਬਣ ਗਈ, ਸੋ when we say ਮੈਂ to ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ, ਮੈਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੂੰ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਸੀ। ਮੈਂ ਨਾਹੀਂ ਕਿਛ ਹੋ ਨਾਹੀਂ, ਕਿਛ ਆਏ ਨਾ ਮੋਰਾ। ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੂੰ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਆ। That doesn't mean I'm saying ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ is not anything. What it means is because I'm not here now. ਹੁਣ ਤੇਰੀ ਉਸਤਤ ਬਣ ਗਈ ਆ when I say ਮੈਂ ਨਾਹੀਂ ਕਿਛ ਹੋ ਨਾਹੀਂ, ਕਿਛ ਆਹੇ ਨਾ ਮੋਰਾ। ਅਵਸਰ ਲੱਜਾ ਰਾਖ ਲਿਓ ਸਦਨਾ ਜਨ ਤੋਰਾ। So when I say ਮੈਂ there, ਮੈਂ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁਣ, I'm nothing. Guru's trying to kill it. ਗੁਰੂ ਸਿੰਘ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਆਈਡੈਂਟਿਟੀ ਆ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਨੂੰ, ਇਸ ਖਰਾਬ ਆ, ਇਹਨੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਜਨਮ ਲਿਆਉਣਾ ਹੋਰ। You're going to get another ਜਨਮ for that because that identity is wrong. Guru's using ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ to say ਇਹਨੂੰ ਮਾਰ ਦੇ, kill it, and he's doing it through these things. ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ representation ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਬਣਾ ਲਓ, ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੁਖੜੇ ਤੋਂ ਮੁਖ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਨਿਕਲਦੀ ਆ, your words, that should be ਸੱਚੀ, there should be ਸੱਚੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਨਿਕਲਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ। So when the mind, these are only 2 bits we've done so far, ਜੇ ਮਨ ਬਚ ਕਰਮ ਆ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, we'll cover that in another week, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਤਾਂ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਆ, ਬਚਨ ਆ ਤੇ ਐਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਆ। What's NLP? NLP, neuro is mind, L is bachan, your words, P is your programming, your actions, ਹੈ ਨਾ। So Guru Ji said ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਸਾਰੇ, when the mind, so I'm not going to finish on time because you didn't come on time, ਹੈ ਨਾ। So my mind and bhajan are usually off. So if you look at individuals, you'll find deceptive people. ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੁਖ ਤੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਬੋਲ ਰਹੇ ਆ, but internally they're doing something else. That's a dishonest person, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹਿਰਦਾ ਅਸ਼ੁੱਧ ਆ। ਜਿਨ ਮਨ ਹੋਰ ਮੁਖ ਹੋਰ, ਸੇ ਕਾਂਡੇ ਕੱਚੇ ਆ। ਉਹ ਕੱਚੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਗੁਰੂ says they're not people. ਉਹ ਕੱਚੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਆ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਨ 'ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ, ਮੂੰਹ 'ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੁਛ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਆ। That's what you it doesn't mean we got authority to be rude, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗੇ rude ਜਿਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, that's not what it means, ਹੈ ਨਾ। But it means that it shouldn't be like you just ਹੋਰ ਕੁਛ ਤੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਰ ਕੁਛ, ਹਾਂਜੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ। But really you're saying I can't stand you, I hope you die tomorrow, ਹੈ ਨਾ। That's ਮਨ 'ਚ ਹੋਰ ਕੁਛ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ, ਮੁਖ 'ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ। ਗੁਰੂ says ਇਹ that is a ਕੱਚਾ ਇਨਸਾਨ। ਉਹਦਾ ਨਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਠੀਕ ਆ, ਨਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਠੀਕ ਆ, ਨਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਬਾਣਾ ਪਾਇਆ ਠੀਕ ਆ। In fact what Guru calls is really, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਡਤ ਕਹਿਤਾ। So you're a ਪੰਡਤ, ਤੇਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਤੇ ਪੰਡਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਫਰਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੰਡਤ ਆ, it doesn't matter ਬਾਣਾ ਪਾਇਆ, ਦਾੜੀ ਰੱਖੀ ਹੋਆ। ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੈਂ people ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਦਾੜੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, they're much more honest, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕ ਕੇ disgraceful, ਉਹ disgraceful ਆ what it's become, that ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਧਾਰੀ person। ਉਹ ਮੁਖ 'ਤੇ ਗਾਲਾਂ, ਯਾਨੀ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕਦੇ ਆ, ਮੁਖ 'ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਗਾਲਾਂ। you're swearing on the outside, right? You're doing nindya, you're scamming people, ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ। And when we say in Gurbani ਵਿੱਚ, look at this ਲਫ਼ਜ਼ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ, ਵੀ ਪਾਠ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਮੁਖ ਝੂਠੋ ਬੋਲੇ। ਪਾਠ ਵੀ ਸੰਨਿਆਸੀ ਨੂੰ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ, to the ਸੰਨਿਆਸੀ, that's the hermits, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਿੰਦੂ hermit ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, they would sit in forests and stuff। ਇਹ ਤੂੰ ਪਾਠ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦਾ ਆ ਨਾ, ਪਰ ਤੂੰ ਮੁਖ ਤੋਂ ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਤੂੰ। ਇਹ ਪਾਠ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਮੁਖ ਝੂਠੋ ਬੋਲੇ, ਨਿਗੁਰੇ ਕੀ ਮਤ ਉਹ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਿਗੁਰਾ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ। if a ਸਿੱਖ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਮੁਖ ਤੋਂ ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਭੇਖ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਨਾ, you're telling lies but you're doing part. Guru says you're a negora, ਮੇਰਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਤੂੰ. And that's what level our Sikhis should have been. Purane, when the British were ruling India, what they were doing, when they should get a Sikh, or can they just Sikh agawai hove, Sikh is a witness, they should ask the Sikh in the court, they go, did he do it? And he says no. They go, case closed. Sikh jhoot nahi bolda. That's what the British were saying about Sikh. Now you put a Sikh there now, you say, did he do it? No, he probably did. He probably did, है ना? ਅਸੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਪੁੱਠਾ ਕਰ ਕੇ ਸਾਡਾ belief system ਖਰਾਬ ਆ, ਸਾਡਾ identity ਖਰਾਬ ਆ. What's making you lie? If you think about it, what is it? What's making you lie? What environment are you in that you can start telling lies? What's your needs? What's your needs? What's your wants? What do you want out of life? ਝੂਠਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ. ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਪੰਡਤ ਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਪੰਡਤ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਨਾ, ਜੋ ਕਰਮ ਧਰਮ ਪਖੰਡ ਜੋ ਦੀਸੈ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਜਮ ਜਾਗਾਤੀ ਲੁੱਟੈ. ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਰਮ ਤੇ ਧਰਮ ਤੂੰ ਕਰਦਾ, ਇਹਦਾ ਜਮਦੂਤਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਲੁੱਟ ਲੈਣਾ ਹੈ when you die. In other words, when the Jamdut come, they take everything from you. They say ਪਾਣੀ ਪੀਣਾ. Sikh wrote that, Rama Singh's book, read it. But Jamdut ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ? They go, ਗਰਮੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਆ, ਪਾਣੀ ਪੀਣਾ ਤੈਂ? ਇਹ ਕਿ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਪੀਣਾ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਯਾਤਰੇ ਤੇ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਯਾਤਰਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਪਾਣੀ ਪੀ ਲਾ. He said they're doing like that. ਤਾਂ ਜਮ ਜਾਗਾਤੀ ਲੁੱਟਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ. ਜੇ ਕਰਮ ਠੀਕ ਉਹ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਮਾਣ ਨਾ. ਮੈਂ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ, ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕਿਆ, ਉੱਥੇ ਕੁਛ ਧਿਆਨ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਛ ਵੀ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਵੀ ਸੇ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਰਦਾ ਐਵਰੀ ਡੇ, ਬਟ ਉਹ ਇਜ਼ ਨੋਟ ਜਮਦੂਤ ਉਹ ਲੁੱਟ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ. ਇਫ ਯੂ ਬਿਨ ਲਾਇੰਗ ਐਂਡ ਯੂ ਬਿਨ ਡੂਇੰਗ ਅਡਲਟਰੀ ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਾ. These I found out these been done adultery 20 years ago. Then they come hear these kind of stories, है ना. It's what ਉਹ ਕੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ? ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਖੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਿੱਟ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ. You know, if you ever go to the bank, ਅਸੀਂ ਗਿਣਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਸਾ every week in the ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਗੋਲਕ ਚੋਂ, ਇਹਦੇ ਖੋਟੇ ਵੀ ਨਿਕਲਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ. Some people put wrong coins in, है ना. And when you take it to the bank looks at it and goes, chuck it in the bin. ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਦਰਗਾਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਹੋਣਾ ਆ, ਖੋਟੇ ਇੱਕ ਖਰਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਇੱਕ ਖੋਟਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ. ਦਰਗਾਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣਾ, ਉਹਨੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਆਹ ਠੀਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਭੇਜੋ ਵਾਪਸ 84 ਲੱਖ ਜੂਨਾਂ 'ਚ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਇਸ ਖੋਟਾ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. And that's what Guru's trying to make us. When we're talking about these things, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਆ ਅੰਦਰ, the representation has to be truthful, ਹੈ ਨਾ. It has to be honest. That's where honesty really is, ਹੈ ਨਾ. So honestly, we're going to just finish with Simran. This week we did these pain become happiness depending on perspective. That was week 1. Second week, when we have a wider Sikhi world view, pain reduces. Jado Sikhi, when we look at it properly, Sikhi the bahut badi cheez hai. Maharaj nu choti ji cheez, we just made Maharaj nothing. Jado vadda banaude Maharaj nu, sada dukh vi ਐਵੇਂ ਜੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, nothing. We have our own changeable internal representation system of how we view the world. That was last week. ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਆ ਗਲਤ ਆ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ. And here we can change our emotional state with our words because they reflect our world view. So ਜਦੋਂ ਦੁੱਖ ਆ ਸੁੱਖ ਆ everything ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਮੁੱਖ ਤੇ ਆ. And there's a thing called siddhavak in Sikhi. You know, when you become honest and you start doing bhakti, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਨਾ, that thing happens. ਉਹਨੂੰ siddhavak ਕਹਿੰਦੇ. That's an honest ਹਿਰਦਾ. ਜੇ honest ਹਿਰਦਾ ਕੁਛ ਕਹਿ ਦੇਵੇ, unfortunately that thing happens. Hopefully it's good things that you say, but if you say something, just by saying it changes things, है ना. your vachan. That's why ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਆ ਉਹ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਪਏ, ਜੋ ਮੰਗੇ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ ਸੋਈ ਦੇਵੈ, ਨਾਨਕ ਦਾਸ ਮੁਖ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਬੋਲੇ, ਇਹਾਂ ਉਹਾਂ ਸੱਚ ਹੋਵੇ. It doesn't just happen ਸੱਚ ਆ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਦਰਗਾਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਮੰਨ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ. ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਹਿਆ ਦਰਗਾਹ ਚੱਲੇ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਦਾ ਕਿਹਾ ਦਰਗਾਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਮੰਨ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ. That's what Guru made. That's what Sikh he really made. But Sikh ਹੁਣ ਬਹੁਤ off, it's gone off now. So ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਉਸਤਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ. Remember ਜਿਹੜੇ internally ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਿਰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਇੱਕ ਮਨ ਇੱਕ ਚਿੱਤ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ we do Simran. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਆ. Remember, you could change anything. You got to love ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ. So you got to bring internal, ਇੱਕ ਖਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ. One of the weeks we're going to cover is how, you know, Simran as well. ਇੱਕ ਖਿੱਚ, Simran is a ਖਿੱਚ. ਖਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, that internal emotion, you can bring it up. you'll start enjoying it so much. बहुत enjoyment आनी थोड़ी when you start understanding that you can actually change from your emotion, you can bring it into your Simran. Na? So see, Simran karna, Vaheguru, 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਹੁਣ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸੁਖ ਆਸਨ ਹੋਣਾ, ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ